Hey there everybody, Bill O'Leary here in this video, and what I'm going to talk about today is tips for executors. Executors of an estate. So before I jump in, quick introduction for those that have not come across me before. Bill O'Leary, I'm an estate planning, elder law, and probate attorney. My firm is Legacy Planning Law Group. We're located in Jacksonville, Florida. So you're an executor. You've been named an executor. Or maybe you're actually starting to work as an executor of a loved one's estate who just passed away. What are some tips and tricks? First of all, understand your role. Your role is not a selfish role where you can do anything that you want. You are there to serve others. You are there to do what's in the best interest of the beneficiaries as well as others. You cannot go rogue. You have to stay within the guardrails, if you will, of if your loved one passed away with a will, the terms of the will. Or if they didn't have a will, the terms of the state law that's going to apply. You also have to stay within the bounds of the probate court system, which you can and can't do. So understand your role. Then, once you get started, move as quickly as you can to try to get all documents and information that are going to be relevant. Sort of think like a detective. Where might your loved one have left it or stored it? And of course, increasingly, more and more people are moving away from paper documentation to stuff in the cloud. So that all-important issue of how you're going to access your loved one's accounts, what are called digital assets with passwords and so forth. Once you start that process and you start to get the information and the documentation you need, set up a system. Hopefully you're a fairly organized person because they tend to be most successful serving in this role. You're going to need to be organized and keep good records because you will be asked at some point to produce that record keeping. Back to the issue of understanding your role. Do not engage in what's called self-dealing. Don't use that as sort of a piggy bank for yourself to try to feather your own nest. Again, you're doing what's in the best interest of the beneficiaries of the estate. You're carrying out an important fiduciary duty. Now, the next sort of tip or sort of step in the process, identify the beneficiaries, locate them. Who are they? Well, if there's a will, it might be easy. If there's not a will and you're sort of going under the law of the state to decide who gets what, well, it might be difficult to find a long lost relative. You don't know where they are. So there's some challenges there. Start the process of locating the beneficiaries. Then, in addition to being organized, hopefully you're the type that is willing to share information. So be transparent. Have open lines of communication. If you think about it, it's human nature. If you've not heard from somebody for a while, sometimes sort of negative thoughts can creep in, doubts. Gee, what's going on? Is that person serving as the executor doing what they're supposed to? Head that off at the pass. Be proactive. Be ahead of the curve and communicate with the beneficiaries and other interested parties. A couple of nuts and bolts. You're going to have to get a tax ID number for the estate because it's a separate independent legal entity. You're going to get a bank account and so forth. Then you're going to jump into the process of notification, notifying different people, interested parties. For example, if the deceased has certain financial accounts, you're going to have to get in touch with those financial institutions, as well as try to identify the debts or the liabilities that your deceased loved one had. Identify those creditors because they get paid first. There's a process for identifying and getting those creditors paid. Maybe a creditor you know about, or you could figure out with a reasonable amount of research. They have a certain legal rights, as well as unknown creditors. They actually have legal rights as well. Then you want to go through the process of valuing the assets. Marshal all the assets, sort of organize them, and start early with the process of putting a value on them. And then remember, you do not have to do this alone. You can outsource some of your responsibilities. Maybe bring in an accountant, financial advisor to help you, a lawyer. And one other piece of advice, don't rush. Don't think that you have to wrap up this estate very quickly. Well, first of all, even if you think that, a lot of times you're in for a rude surprise. But even then, even if you have beneficiaries that are pressuring you to distribute money out because they want their money, resist that temptation, that pressure. Don't close the estate down too early. And then the last tip, the last piece of advice, get help, get professional help. Go to a good lawyer to get their help administering the estate. We can certainly help there. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about sort of how you go about administering an estate, probating, tips and tricks as an executor, and if you want to find out how we can help, we'd love to talk to you. So we invite you to schedule a free 15-minute phone call. There's a scheduling link now at the bottom of this video. Just click on it, takes you to our booking calendar. Pick a day and time that works. If you've enjoyed this video, I would graciously ask that you like and share it with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, this is Bill O'Leary signing off for now. Go make it a great day and a better world, and see you on the next video.